So with that, again, my name is Lindsay Hofburn. We're kicking off our week 1 of our Success Through Summer call series. Short backstory on this, my dear friend, Allison, who I will tell you is a 4-star Golden Circle 5-star Crystal executive. I think that hearing her success in Isogenics is super important because she's where we all want to go. She's a dear friend that I met early on in my Isogenics journey, and we've collaborated a lot over the years. And we did a short team call a number of months ago, and it just is fun to see other faces and get to meet other people. So as we were brainstorming via Marco Polo, if you don't have that app to communicate with your friends and team, please download it. It's called Marco Polo. A few weeks ago, when we just thought, let's do a back to basics call series. Let's get all of our teams together. Let's gain some accountability through the summer and really dive into what are the most important things we can do in Isogenics, and that's our income producing activities. Summer's a good time to focus on the basics because summer gets busy, but there's a lot of growth, enrollments, and team growth that can happen as you live your normal life. So instead of getting distracted with the summer, let's take our normal life, our adventures, seeing friends, our travel, having our kids around more, and let's turn that into intentional activities and intentional things that will allow us to grow. It's no secret that the people who plug in and the people that have their teams plugged in are going to see growth in their business. And that's all we want for each and every one of you. You'll see the fruits of your labor if we intentionally work hard and of course, stay plugged in with the accountability. So these calls will always be recorded. We'll get the recordings out as soon as possible. I know a lot of you can't be on for various reasons. I want to thank all 70 plus, I think there were 76 people who opted in. And what we have found in Isogenics is collaboration is the most special aspect of what we get to do as a team. And collaboration with people who are not financially tied to you is even more special and more beneficial. So Allison and I are going to spend some time tomorrow pairing everybody up from our beautiful Google form sheet. Thank you, Allison, for setting that up. And pair up, hopefully, a member in a similar position or with similar goals as you from the opposite team so that you have a new friend and a collaboration partner over the next 8 weeks and beyond. There might be a couple groups of 3 depending upon what we're working with, but we will keep you all posted tomorrow so you can meet your new friend. But we're really excited for those of you who took that added step. It does take courage and some bravery and a level of confidence to be willing to do something like that. So we thank you very much. Now, without further ado, I get to introduce one of my dearest friends, again, not financially tied at all, but one of my cherished and valued Isogenics relationships. This woman does it all. She is a 2-star Golden Circle, 1-star Crystal executive. She has been a registered nurse for years, who has pursued other endeavors recently alongside her Isogenics business. She has treated Isogenics with the most professionalism and consistency out of hardly anyone I've ever witnessed. I am so grateful for her friendship and all that I get to learn from her. She is the person I recommend any of my teammates follow on social media because her posts are real and raw and to the point. Her stories are wonderful. So Gretchen Heinen is her name. Find her on Instagram. She has kids of her own, a wonderful husband, and has dove into the world of foster care this last year. So if you think you're busy, step into this woman's life. And because of her, and she runs a podcast as well. So because of her level of professionalism, she has had continued success in Isogenics. She was one of the first people we asked to host a call for us tonight. So without further ado, Miss Gretchen Heinen is going to speak to us on creating interest. Gretchen, take it away.
Oh my gosh. Lindsay, thank you so much. And Allison, thank you for putting this all together. Aren't we so blessed to have leaders that totally just help us to all collaborate and come together? I mean, I feel like we should all just give them a round of applause because that's amazing. Yay! Okay, so I'm going to jump right in. I'm going to share my screen. But I do want to say, just you guys, like, you're already a step ahead by being on this call, by not checking out for the summer. Like, you are so a step ahead. So my goal and my intention for you tonight is to have you walk away from here and really feel like I can take more action than I'm taking. And this isn't going to be hard for me to create interest in Isogenics. We have people on this call who are brand new, like they're brand new, like their box just opened and they're like, oh my gosh, like, what do I do? What do I say? So hopefully tonight, this will help you to get some tips about how to create curiosity. Okay. And then for those of you who are veterans of Isagenix, like see how you can take some of these and up level yourself and then share this with your new people. Like share this with your new people. Okay, so I am going to share my screen. Sometimes the chat gets weird when you're sharing, so someone will just have to like alert me if the chat goes off because I don't know where it goes when you share your screen, but it just seems to disappear for me. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Just a little head nod. Okay. Okay, so I was tasked tonight with creating interest about Isagenix in your life, like on social media, in person, like how do we create interest? How many of you guys have ever felt like you were meeting somebody and you like wanted to bring up Isagenix, but you didn't want to be weird and you didn't know what to say and you're like kind of waiting for that right moment? Like raise your hand if you can relate to that. Okay, yes, right? Like we've all been there. So hopefully tonight you will walk away with more confidence about what to do in those situations. Okay, so let's just start with the most obvious place to create interest about Isagenix is your social media. I mean, like we all are on social media every day. Literally 70 to 90% of the population spends an hour or more on social media. So one of the easiest and fastest and quickest and best ways is to be on social media. But here's the thing, people don't realize that once you dive into Isagenix and you're sharing Isagenix, your social media becomes a storefront, okay? And look at these two pictures. One is crusty and it's got like stickers on the windows and a weird dog out front that we're not sure has been fed. And the walls are dirty. And you can just see that like that does not look like a place that you want to go in and shop in that store, does it? Right? And then look at the picture on the right. Like you can see the products inside the store. You can see people in the store. This is key. We're going to talk about this later. People are in the store, it's clean, the windows are clean, it's clear what it is. This is what you want your social media to look like because when you are sharing Isagenix, your social media is your storefront, you guys. And I'm all about real. Lindsay said that. Like I will show up on my Instagram to be real. But I also, if you follow me closely, will notice that anytime that I show anything that's like less than, professional, maybe the dog out front or something, I will then the same day make sure I show up like put together, so I'm showing like life is real, but I don't live like the homeless dog outside all day long, so we want to make sure that we're using our social media as a storefront. Okay, so there's going to be a range. I have found in Isagenix, some people are really savvy with social media and some people are not at all. So I'm going to speak to right in the middle and give you guys tips for both of you on either side. So, okay, the first thing you need to do is master one platform before you're trying to go crazy with all of them, okay? So I'm gonna speak about Instagram tonight because Instagram is where I would say the majority of people are on right now. It's the most popular, I'd say, for people looking to be entertained and for people looking to just check out at night, right? And scroll their feed. But if you are like into Facebook and all your people are on Facebook, then use Facebook. Like it's not a bad thing to use Facebook. And actually I have a few people who are doing Pinterest because their ideal person is a mom who hates Facebook and she's on Pinterest. So they're posting to Pinterest, they're engaging on Pinterest. Like you can do LinkedIn if you gear towards the more professional people, like whatever it is that you feel really comfortable and you feel like you can show up every day on, do that one, master it with the same principles I'm going to show you today, and then move on to the next one. But when you're trying to like be the master of LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram, and you're over here on Pinterest, like you're going to be so diluted, you're not even going to be able to pay attention to where the people are who are raising their hand to tell you they want more of your information. So the other thing is people spend they look at this and they're like, okay, social media is my new money pot. I'm just going to hang out there all day. That's like the biggest mistake you can make when you are earning an income from Isagenix. You need to be on and off social media. You do not want to be hanging out there, hiding behind your social media all day. So I set a timer every day and you can have Instagram alert you when your time is up. But I like set an actual timer. Because you guys, have you ever been there where you're like, I'm just going to check it. And then all of a sudden an hour has gone by and you're like, I just lost an hour of my life. So set a timer. And if you need, there's tons, if you go to Isagenix Business, there is tons of social media trainings in there. And this one by Danielle Thompson, I think is really good. She's just super real. You can find lots of ones, but I don't want to go into all of the like techniques of it. I want to give you more practical tips so that you can get an action tomorrow. So I linked that there, and we can make sure that this presentation with the links goes in both groups. Okay. Now, this is what I do to like not spend too much time on social media. So I do 30 minutes a day, and sometimes I do more, but like I make it just like 30 minutes of proactive Instagram time. Do you need something, Lindsay? No. Okay. 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 So on Sunday or Saturday, you could do either day. Find 7 pictures on your phone. Now, if you have your phone and you're not on it, like grab it right now, because I want you to just open up Instagram if you use it. And I want to show you, like if you hit the plus button at the bottom and you go to create a post, like let's say you just pick a picture, you know, and then hit next, and then type just randomness. Okay. And then click OK, and then hit the back arrow. It'll say saving draft. Do you see that? So you can do 7 of those. And raise your hand if you want me to repeat that. Okay, so pretend like you're gonna create a post. Like just hit the plus sign and then put any picture, it doesn't matter because we're not gonna actually post it. So you'll have like your picture there. I just picked one of me and Mike, cute. Okay, and then hit next, and then you get to like the spot, you probably can't see this, but you get to the spot where you type, right? Just type like a word, it doesn't even matter, just type anything. So like this is where you would go to post it, right? But if you hit the back button, it will save it as a draft, and it will be in the top layer of your Instagram. You should see that post you just did on the top layer of your Instagram on the creating and the plus sign. It's on the top layer. Just, you guys see that? Okay. So you can create 7 posts all to go out that week. So I just pick 7 pictures that are clean. And I mean, like if you're at an event and you want to post like what happened that day, obviously this is just tips. But if you can spend 30 minutes creating your posts ahead of time, this is going to save you so much time. And I'm going to tell you why. Because our brains get decision fatigue, right? And so when you're spending your income producing activity time, your very precious limited time that you have on Isagenix that you've given up TV, you're doing this on your lunch break, you're getting up early to do this, you are doing this after your kids go to bed. If you're that person, you're my people, first of all. And if you are that person, this is your saving grace. Just do these posts ahead of time so that when you do go sit down to do Isagenix, like you are reaching out to people, you're making the most of your time. You can create 7 posts like that in Instagram, save them, and then shoot them out each day, right? And then you spend the rest of your 25 minutes commenting and liking on other people's accounts. And I'm going to show you another trick really quick. So if you go to open your Instagram and just go to anyone's profile, right? Like anyone. Here's my friend Diane from high school. She's so cute, Mrs. America. Okay, if you go to the right of her picture, there's a little like flag. It looks like a ribbon, kind of. Do you see the ribbon? Okay. Long press that, and it will say save to, okay? You might have to like hit the plus sign to create a folder, but you can create folders in that section. So I can remember, I don't have to write her Instagram handle down in the notes, you know, some on a piece of paper. I can save it to a folder and just save it to anywhere right now. Create a folder. I have one that's named besties, you know, or prospects or whatever. Save it into a folder. And then once you do that, and you can go back and watch this if I'm going too fast, like you can totally rewatch this or reach out to me. Once you do that, now I want you to click on your own little profile in the bottom right, and then click on the 3 dots in the upper right, and look for that ribbon that says saved. You should see a folder that says all posts, and that one you just saved should go in there. Or maybe you put it into a folder. If you already put it into a folder, it will be in the folders. So this is a way for you when you're spending 15 minutes on Instagram and you want to remember these people later, save these, like flag these and put them in your saved folder. And then every day go into this folder and comment and like on these people's stuff. You have to go to each of their accounts. It doesn't like refresh it in the folder, but it will save their account. And so it's the fastest way I have found to be able to keep a list of all the people you're trying to connect with on Instagram and be able to comment on all their stuff really quickly. The next thing I do is I go into who's watched my own stories by clicking on my story, clicking on the seen by in the bottom corner, and I look for anyone who's watched my story that has a red circle around them, because then I'm going to go in and watch their stories and comment on their stories. Now, you could waste a lot of time commenting on every Isagenix person's story who's watched yours, but I want to caution you, like, start with the people you're trying to connect with first, okay? And go into their stories, like new customers or people who are really close to ordering, and go watch their story. It just puts, it's like a storefront. It puts you at the top of their mind, right? And it just shows them that you're not just interested in trying to sell them something, you're like interested in their life. And then I try to every day find about 5 new accounts. Just by, searching a hashtag, like I like I mom so hard hashtag. I just think those moms are funny, and people who follow them are like my people. And so I'll search like a hashtag like that, or a foster care parenting hashtag. And I will go and find accounts that don't look like they're people who are trying to be influencers, because I'm just looking for like regular moms, regular people who are just trying to change their life, right? Like, I'm not looking for the $240,000 like posed Instagram mom with the orange filter and her perfect dog and her kids are blowing bubbles and no one's fighting. Like, those aren't my people. Okay, so find who your people are and go and find their accounts, save them to those folders, watch their story. As a tip, I'll give you a tip. Only if someone doesn't do stories, I usually don't like message them or try to work with them, because I want someone who's already using social media as like part of their life. That's just like me. There's 7 billion people. I'm just going to weed some out. And that's how I do it. But that maybe doesn't have to be you. So like, you want to basically watch their stories, send them a little hello message. I did that today. I found a girl. I was like, hey girl, you have curly hair and you're a nurse and a foster mom. Are we twins? That's all I said. And then she commented back, and now we're friends. And I'm not going to talk about Isagenix on the first day, you guys. Like, I'm just going to be her friend for a hot second, okay? So just like connect with people, all right? Okay, let's move on. So I recommend just doing 1 post a day and then doing 3 to 6 stories a day. And I'm going to give you some examples. So here's an example, and this is the format I use. I do 4 posts of like my everyday life, 2 posts where I'll talk about gaining more energy or transformations. And I'm going to show you where Isagenix has all their examples of posts, so that you just know, you don't even have to think about it. You can just go there and you can see how they do it. You can even copy and paste some of those, because they're real stories of real people. But it's best to get like people from your own team and people that you know, because you can like really talk about knowing them. You can tag them. But here's an example of a really good story. Danny, about to shout you out, girl. I just did a Loom video of Danny's stories. You guys can see Loom up, right? Okay. So I just went to Danny's story and I just did a quick video. We're just going to watch it. These were Danny's stories today. So she's got, choose happy. Oh, I think I went back first. Okay. So she's got like mimosa and protein. She like tagged her teammate, a little quote, her daughter making Rice Krispie snacks, a little quote about Monday, a thing about leadership, highlighting a teammate making some money, to another teammate making some money. And then she gave some stuff, and then her kid. Okay. So that just shows you how to on your stories, integrate some business, some personal. You guys, Danny has a full-time job, also work as a PA. She also works on the weekends in urgent care. So a second job. She owns a gym and teaches 4 classes a week, and she still finds time to do her stories. She literally just gets up early, goes and teaches her class at the gym, comes home, just posts 4 stories to her wall before she goes to work. So you have time, I promise, okay? Okay, and then here's some examples of actual posts. So Alex, wherever you are, I'm gonna use you. So she basically talks about, so this is a car that they rented at ICU, and she's just laying on the hood, and look at her, I have dreams, and I don't know if it says how many likes this post had, my little thing. Yeah, 109 likes, Here's another one of Alex's where she just says, oh, hot damn, today was on fire. I'm so grateful for this opportunity, so blessed with these wonderful, amazing people around me. I can't wait for bigger and better tomorrow. And these aren't all people in her downline. She just grabbed people from ICU. You guys, she's been in Isagenix for 3 months, okay? You don't have to be in Isagenix a long time to say, I'm excited about this, Okay, here's another one that Alex did. I just picked 2 people to highlight, you guys. So, and this is a power post, okay? I didn't even do the whole thing, but she basically talks about how she decided to put herself first. I decided to follow my dream and start a daycare. So she's not just talking about isogenics. She's talking about like pain points, the amount of stress, money, late nights, and early mornings has been worth it. She talks about teaching fitness classes and getting back on track. So just like be you and talk about you. That's all you have to do. I mean, Alex didn't get any formal isogenics training to do this. She just got on here. She's like 20 something and was like, I'm just going to share my heart, you know? So like, this is how you should know. Anyone, you know, any of us can do this. Okay. Here is an everyday life post that I'm going to click on. And the reason I'm clicking on it is because it's a boomerang. So this is another one Alex did where she just does a boomerang of them at bingo, right? Like that, this is just everyday life. Like this is just her life. And look how fun, you guys are all smiling at it because it's super fun, you know? So, okay. All right. So that's that. And then isogenics, whoops. Oh, sorry. I'm like crazy with the mouse here. Hang on a second. Let me go back. Okay. Oh, hold on. There we go. Okay. So isogenics, I'm going to click on this, has a whole library of social media images. So if you go to Isogenics Business and you just go to the social, I don't know what this link, this URL is, but literally you guys know how I got here. I clicked on this. I clicked on this little spyglass and typed in social media and it took me here. So you don't have to like memorize where things are on Isogenics Business. Just go here and use it. But look at, there's a whole library of connecting images, product images, before and after images, and you can just click on these. It'll tell you the person's story in a sample post. So you could either take your own picture and use kind of the template that they're using here, or you could literally post about this guy. You can find him on social media and say, hey, I found your transformation picture on Isogenics Business. Can I post about you and tag you in it? I'm sure he'd say yes, you know? Okay, so that's that. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so now let's talk about in person. That's social media. Let's talk about in person. So I just live isogenics. I just live my ISO life, right? Like I just take my products with me. See, these are some things that I do on a consistent basis that you could also do too. But basically in-person interest is just living your life, right? Like if you are Debbie Downer everywhere you go, people are probably not going to want to join you. I'm just going to tell you right now, like you have to live a vibrant life. You have to exude that you like are wanting people to be in your space, right? If you're honking at people with your horn and you're, you know, being crabby about waiting in line and you're complaining all the time out in public, like I'm just going to tell you right now, your business is not going to grow. Like you need to just be a nice person and do some of these things. So there's my lesson for you. Okay. So one of the things I do is when snacks are passed around on an airplane, I mix up my shake. I will put my ionics in a glass mason jar and I carry that around and people are like, oh, what is that? Because it looks super hippie and I'm kind of like that. So that works for me. You know, I mix my Isopro and my Recover as soon as a class ends, like literally into my sugar, like right as we're done exercising. They're like, oh, what's that? Like, wow, you're serious, man. You got to drink that right away. Like, what's going on here? Like, so they see it and they ask me about it. Or I'll bring protein balls to class and I'll bring a shake to soccer practice. Do you know how many parents are eating fast food on the soccer field, you guys, or the baseball field? Like they bring it there because they're literally coming from work to picking up their kids to coming there. If you show like, oh, this is easy. I'm just making I just drink my shake. Like that's a good way to show it in person. Using hydrate sticks and water bottles for kids' games or carrying isodelites and bars around, especially on planes or like meetings, things like that. So that's all cool, right? But like, are they really going to ask you what it is? Probably not. So you're going to have to figure out how to talk to them too. Okay. So after you basically have these products, like I basically look for ways to ask questions about people. Okay. Oops, I went too far. Here we go. So when you're out and about, like ask people questions. Literally, that's the secret, you guys, is asking questions, okay? It's not being like, hey, do you see my drink? Do you want to know what's in it? No, you just like say like, hey, how long have you been coming to this class? I've never seen you here before. Oh, your kid we're on the same team. Is this his first season playing baseball? I asked that to a mom the other day because her kid wasn't very good. Anyways, didn't say that. So anyways, like what other sports do you guys do? You look like, I literally said this the other day, you look like you're in really good shape. Where do you work out? Another thing I said to a lady is she had like on a jacket, like what do you call this? I don't even know, like a jacket, and it had like a performance something on the back. And I was like, what's your jacket? Like just ask questions and keep asking questions. until you find a spot to connect with them with. Now, if the person's antisocial, you probably don't want them on your Isagenix team anyway. So don't sweat if they're antisocial. And the only reason I'm saying that is because one time I was on a plane and I was trying to get to know the guy next to me, and he literally told me I asked too many questions and then put his earbuds in. Okay. And I was like, okay, like salty, whatever. But like, I don't actually want that person's probably not going to be like the Isagenix millionaire go-getter, because that person doesn't even want to be around people. Okay. So that's okay. If you try to make a conversation with someone and they are just like, not having it, that's okay. Or maybe they're just like, have something going on, right? Like maybe they had a really bad day and they just need compassion. Like, I'm not trying to say everyone who doesn't want to talk is not good for Isagenix. I'm just saying, like, don't expect that every conversation is going to go perfect. Okay. And if it doesn't, that's okay. But once I've made a connection with someone, that's when I start in on the, what do you do? I never ask that as a first question, because I just think like it's boring, first of all. And secondly, like, we're so much more than just what we do, you guys. Like, get to know people's heart. So after I've kind of connected with them, I'll be like, oh, I'll know what their kids are like, what their ages are, where they live, what they love to do. Then maybe like 9 questions in, I'll be like, so what do you do for a living? And I will tell you, they will go onto it, ask more questions. Oh, that sounds so interesting. Like, tell me more about that. So is it like this or like that? Like, just get them opening up about it. And I promise you, they will ask you what you do. It's just like what people do. They will ask back. And I can promise you, you're going to say it differently 1,000 times before you feel good about what you say, because you're going to try out all these things you hear. You're probably going to try these 3 and you're going to see how they feel. And sometimes they feel right and sometimes they don't. Like, sometimes I've said stuff like trying out things I heard at UIA, and then literally after I said it, I could feel my face getting hot because it was not right for me. Like, that was not the right way for me to say it. But like, how was I to know if I didn't practice? So just practice saying it a little bit differently. And as you get good, you'll be able to modify your language to the person, to like meet the person's needs or talk about it in a way that makes sense to them. And I'll give you an example. So a lot of times I'll say things like if I'm in front of a person who doesn't want to work a lot, I'll be like, well, I work as a nurse, but I'm building a global distribution of nutrition products on the side to shorten my retirement. Oh my gosh, you are? Like, you can do that? I have 2 jobs. This is what I say to people who have like 8 jobs. Okay. So the job people, if you have friends who are like, I have 4 jobs. I do this on Monday and this on Friday and this over here. I've been there. So, okay. So basically, I'll say like, well, I have 2 jobs. My favorite is working with people and getting them healthier physically and financially. And my second job is I'm a nurse. And then the third way is something that I'll say, like, if I'm just like a general thing, like I help people get healthier by showing them how to shop for healthier and more convenient food and show them how to get it free. But you know what I say if I'm with a pharmaceutical sales rep or I'm with someone in medicine is I'll say something like, well, I am a rep for a billion-dollar nutraceutical company. I would never say that for anyone else, but a rep, like people who are reps in healthcare, they know what a rep means. They know what that means. And when I talk about being a nutraceutical company, they know what that means. So I can tailor my message to what is appropriate for them. But if I'm in front of a soccer mom, I'm not going to say that because she's going to never ask me a single question next, So you can tailor it to the person when you're experienced, but in the beginning, just try out different things. And if you say it different every time, who cares? You might not see them ever again anyways, so who cares? Okay. Okay, so here's a 30-second story. I'm going to go fast here. So we're not even going to train on this other than I want you to go to Isagenix Business, and I want you to type in 30-second story in the search bar, and it literally gives you a link about what you can and cannot say in Isagenix. So there's certain things we have to be careful what we say, you guys, because you can't say like, I lost 7 pounds in 4 days. There's like a rule against that. And if you don't know about these rules, it's okay. Like, if you've posted something, don't freak out. Like, we can fix it. But it will tell you like how to give the claims. And it also tells you how to create your story. You guys, this is how I tell my story every time. Before Isagenix, I was very frustrated in my career. I felt very tired and I was a very burnt out wife. I was introduced to Isagenix by my friend Holly. I've been on these products 4 years and now I feel amazing. I love what I do. I like my kids and my husband again. And I feel alive in helping people to feel this way, right? And you want to connect the before things with the after things. And I don't think I did them in a perfect order. But then I'll say like, and no, I believe everybody can feel like this. So again, this is going to be one of those things that feels really weird at first, but just keep practicing it and making it you. And the whole point of this, you guys, This is the point. The human brain has an 8-second attention span. Because of our technology, think about when you guys watch Insta stories. How many of you can't make it through a whole 15-second Insta story? Okay, and you're just like, hello, get to the point, girl. Like, I can have all day. You guys, that's 15 seconds. And our brains literally cannot handle it. Like, think about when you're telling your isogenic story and you're going on and on about the adaptogens and how your life has changed and how much weight you lost, how you sleep better. They don't care. You have to make it short. You have to make it really short and sweet about how it's changed your life, because they just want to know if it's going to change their life. Okay. So I think this is it. Yes. Okay. So this is it. So don't overthink it. Spend 10 times as much time asking questions about other people and commenting on their stuff instead of talking about yourself or watching your own Instagram stories over and over. How many of you guys have rewatched your own Instagram story? I'm going to raise my hand right here. Okay. I've been like, oh, I did it so good today. Okay. You don't need to do that. You already know what you posted because you posted it. Spend that time instead watching other people's Instagram stories. Okay. And commenting and liking on their stuff. Like, you have to make this about other people. Okay. That's so important. Like, it's probably the most critical first step of when people really start to grow their income, is when they shift it away from their own goals and how they can help other people. Okay. And then this is the last thing. I just want to tell you why you should care about this. Probably should have told you this first, but I'm going to tell you it now because I don't want it to distract you. If you did a post every day and you reached out to 2 people every day, that's 700 to 1,000 people that you would touch in a year. Okay. If 10% of those people said yes to you, you would have 70 new teammates on your team in that year, okay? Now, I'm not saying this is guaranteed to happen. I'm just throwing out some numbers here, okay? If 10% of those 70 decided to share Isogenics and they did the same process as you, 7 times 73, that'd be an additional 500 teammates that would be brought into your team. So if you took the teammates that you had, plus the teammates of those 7 people, you would have a team of 3,000 people in 5 years, okay? And likely, I'm gonna be really honest, it's probably gonna be way more, because this isn't even including future replications or future duplications, okay? This is literally like you and your 7 homies going to town, okay? Like, which is not gonna happen. There's gonna be more than 7, but I'm just being very conservative here. If 20% of all those 3,000 people ordered, that would be your monthly income, okay? If 20% of them ordered 125 BV, like, this is math and this is people. But the problem is that people want to go straight to the $4,500 and they don't want to do the 2 reach outs per day or the 1 post per day. You have to break it down into tiny little things you can do every day. And in 5 years, that's your reward, okay? But you have to do the tiny little steps every day. So that's all I got for you. What questions do you have?
Thank you, Gretchen. You make me laugh.
Yeah.
Go ahead and unmute yourself if you have a question. We've got a little bit of time left, team. Someone wrote, oh, we've got a chat box, Gretchen.
Yes,
can you read that?
I'm going to go to the chat box really quick and look.
Can you review what a power post is?
Ooh, yes. Okay. So a power post is where you just share your heart. Like, you're talking to your girlfriend over a glass of wine in your living room. Okay. That's the best way to describe it. It's where you just share how Isogenics has changed your life. You're not trying to sell them something or like, message me. You're literally just like, this is how I've changed. This is something that's changing my life. So in Alex's power post, it was a little bit longer. It usually is a little bit longer, but you don't want it to be like a novel because they probably won't read it. But she just shared about how she had pain points and how this has changed her and where she's growing in life. So I've done power posts about how Isogenics has freed up us financially to be able to take foster kids because now we have the money to do it. So does that make sense? Like, you don't have to have it be a specific format. It's just you sharing your heart like you would after a glass of wine. I don't know what else to say.
I like that. So keynote, have a glass of wine before power. Solid. Not heard that recommendation before. Oh, let's see. Did that help, Angel? Okay, so good. Thank you. Okay, any other questions for Gretchen before we wrap up?
Hey, Gretchen, this is Lori. I don't have a question. I just have to say hello because you were my UIA partner.
Oh, yeah.
I recognize that story.
Oh,
it's so good to see you.
Yay.
I love
Super
that.
Fun. Yeah.
Connections made at events are powerful connections. We can all agree, right? Well, I thank each of you. There are over 60 people on the call tonight. This has been 40 minutes out of your evening that we do not take lightly, and many more to play the recording again. We will get posted as soon as possible. Gretchen, thank you so much for your humor and your realness. I actually took some good screenshots of your slides, so thank you for doing those for us. And with that being said, Allison, we know you're on the line. Allison isn't feeling very well, but thank you for being with us. We'll see you all next Monday, same time, same place. Look for your pairings, for your accountability partner tomorrow, at some point tomorrow, I promise, okay? Thank you all so much.